Do you want to do a quick mention of Camelot's cousin?
I can do a quick mention of Camelot's cousin.
A few years ago, can I say a few now? when we first started doing this, we interviewed David Stokes, who wrote this Shooting Salvationists, which was about a preacher in Fort Worth from the 1920s who went through a murder trial, and it's supposed to be he kind of wrote it in a not historical fiction. I mean, it was all based upon historical data, but
right.
He wrote it kind of sensationalizing it and put some of the sensational elements into it.
He kind of Hollywoodized it.
Yeah, and did a great job. And we interviewed him and talked to him about the era and things like that. So, but I noticed that he has a new book out called Camelot's Cousin. So.
Yes, he did, and I downloaded it.
Yeah,
he offered it for free, and if it's free, it's for me.
It's historical fiction, which I don't usually touch anyway. So.
Yes, but I do. And it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's not a suspense thriller. Of course, I may not have gotten to that part yet. I'm about 1/3 of the way through, but it's fun. It's a fun read. That's I guess what I would put it as is a fun read.
Good.
And it's about a guy who finds a briefcase in his backyard. And it's a mysterious briefcase, and it turns out to be the briefcase of Kim Philby, otherwise known as Harp. And Kim Philby, and I can say this, there's no spoilers here, it's like revealed in the first 30 pages, but Kim Philby was an American who was recruited to be a Russian sleeper spy. And he got all the way into the echelons of the CIA. And it was a trusted resource. And then, they found out about him, and so he had to run and never got back and recovered his briefcase, obviously. And so now, there are people digging into the briefcase and researching the briefcase. And the main character, Templeton Davis, is, really interested in this, and he's wanting to write a book about this briefcase and who owned it. And so now the rest of the book is him investigating. And it's neat because it's about the briefcase that used to belong to a spy, and because it's got little spy goodies in there, it's got a one-time pad in there. And so he's actually divulging not spy secrets like, okay, on this day the CIA did this, but kind of how they did things kind of thing. And so they actually had a couple of pages where they talked about what the one-time pad is and how you can use it and how you can do one of your, so you're like learning little tricks. I'm thinking to myself, that would be cool. And so it's kind of a stepping into the whole spy thing. And so now where I'm at right now, somebody did something without getting permission with the rest of the CIA, and there's kind of a foreshadowing that he actually did something that's going to put him in trouble. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, wow.
So it's a fun little geeky, if you like James Bond or the idea of, all the little gadgets and things that they did. And
Are you familiar with Burn Notice?
Yeah, well, I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sounds a little reminiscent of Burn Notice.
Right, yeah, it's an excellent show from what I understand. Yeah, I unfortunately hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's about spies, but and some of the sneaky things that they do, some of the little secrets and stuff. So incorporated and run in there. So. Yeah,
I'm more of a Chuck fan.
Okay.
Chuck is about a computer nerd who ends up being a spy.
So you like Chloe and not Jack Bauer then?
I finally had to. Okay. Although Jack Bauer was a lot of fun for about the first season or two.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Awesome. Well, we'll have to. What I always say this. We'll have to see about getting him on the show.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I would love to. Well, we had him, like I said, years ago.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe get him on again.
Sure. That'd be good. The other book that I wanted to mention is called In Our Image.
Okay. Yes.
About the American
and do you have
involvement in the Philippines. No, I don't think we have anything up in there. But
we do have something up.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay.
She's got it.
Written by a fellow by the name of Stanley Karnow. And, me being... not necessarily a newbie to history, but I've been reading, like I said, I've been reading history for years. But every once in a while, I'll come across a book that is well documented and has a lot of good information in it, has a lot of good scholarship in it, and lo and behold, I found out that this Stanley Karnow, who wrote this, died earlier this year. So he is now the late Stanley Karnow. However, that doesn't mean that you can't read his book, which I'm in the process of doing, and it answers a lot of questions. We learned about the Philippines. We learned that it's we learned in high school that we fought the Spanish-American War and took over Manila and Manila Bay and Admiral Dewey and all that kind of stuff, and at the turn of the 20th century, or right before the turn of the 20th century, and now progressive historians and progressive politicians and such will try to use the word imperialist when we talk about the Philippines and our association with the Philippines. But this book actually is well documented and well researched, and so you can kind of get to the bottom and get to the nut of the matter, and just exactly what we did, and how we did take over those islands and what was going on over there in that country, and our overall policy and how that policy's evolved over the years, and how we're different from Great Britain and from France and other imperialists, and other colonialists and such. So anyway, it's not that what we did was all good, but I think a lot of things can be misrepresented and misinterpreted when it comes to our relationship with the Philippines, and so this book has been very good at clarifying some of that. I might provide a more detailed review on the website at some point, but once I get finished with it. But it is a good read.
Well, I think it's very interesting. In Our Image, I mean, that's the title itself is almost a slam. I mean, or is it like they were? Why the title? You understand?
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten that far into the book yet to really be able to analyze why he chose that title. I think it's an implication of how we attempted to tackle colonialism or imperialism in the early 20th century, as it was known.
Right.
What were the other examples? The Brits and the French, and the Russians and the Japanese, and so how they approached colonialism. Is that's essentially what they would do? Is they would go to another country and
basically the way
and recast that country in their own image. So it's kind of a title that's reflexive of somewhat of colonial attitudes, general colonial attitudes. So that's probably where that comes from.